I will call the September 10th meeting of the Common Council to order at 7 p.m. Would you all rise as Mark Boyce leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Ms. Lees, will you call the roll?
Mr. Boyce?
Present.
Mr. Davis?
Present.
Mr. Elliott?
Present.
Mr. Johnson?
Present.
Mr. Schwartz?
Present.
Mr. Smith?
Present.
Mr. Thurston?
Present.
Ms. Wiles?
Present.
Mr. Peterson?
Present.
Mr. President, you have a quorum.
I'm going to have approval of the minutes from our August 27th budget meeting.
When do you want to do? You want to do during your comments? Okay.
Yeah. So, okay, approval of the minutes of our August 27th budget meeting.
So moved. Second.
There's a motion to approve the minutes of our budget meeting and a second. This is a hand vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 9-0. Approval of the minutes from our August 27th meeting.
So moved. Second.
There's a motion to approve our minutes from our August 27th meeting. A second. There's a hand vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 9-0. Approval of the agenda.
Mr. President?
We do have one change, but go ahead. Moving recognition to the mayor's comments.
Okay. I would move that we move the recognition of the Mayor's Youth Council to the mayor's comments.
So moved. Second.
There's a motion to approve the agenda as amended and a second. There's a hand vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 9-0. Petitions or comments by citizens who are present. There's some yellow cards out back if anyone would like to make some comments. I have none in front of me, so we'll move on to the mayor's comments.
Good evening, Mr. President, Madam Clerk. I'm pretty sure that was my screw up on that earlier. I apologize. But thank you for allowing me a few minutes tonight to say a few words and introduce a few of my closest friends. Before we get started and recognize this year's Mayor's Youth Council, I just would like to thank each and every one of you on behalf of the administration. The last several months, the public may not be aware, but we have been in the process of budget conversations. It's an annual conversation. It's a conversation that we take very seriously within the city of Noblesville, and you take very seriously with your job as well as city councilors. So just want to say thank you to each one of you who've taken time with your different departments that you liaison with to talk and understand and really be advocates for those different departments. I think one of the proudest moments is when we every year pass a balanced budget that spends taxpayer dollars wisely and invests in long-term infrastructure plans that will help grow our economy and make Noblesville the best place to live, work, and play for future generations. And speaking of long-term investments, I am excited to announce that after a 40-year debate, we will be opening Phase 1 of Pleasant Street, thanks to the leadership of this council. I would like to invite everyone here on the council, everyone in the public, to join us on September 26th on the new Pleasant Street corridor for a party on Pleasant. We will have food trucks and vendors and a chance for folks to get out and see what I truly believe you'll be in awe by. That's not just a new roadway, but a roadway with a trail network, with artwork, and just beautiful aesthetics over the White River. So I hope that you will put it on your calendar. I think it's already on your calendar. But I hope you'll plan on being there and invite your friends and neighbors, because it is an awesome chance to really showcase a community dreaming big, chasing a lion that was not easy to chase, but we appreciate that you guys come alongside us. So mark your calendars for September 26th, and that first phase of the roadway, actually the first phase of the first phase, in typical government fashion, will open on September 27th. That roundabout on River Road will be open. You'll be able to take the new bridge across Pleasant Street to the dual roundabouts at 8th Street. The roundabout work at 9th and 10th is still ongoing and will last a few more weeks post that. Mark Boyce is giving me the evil eyes. What'd I miss?
I'm supposed to give roads committee, and you're like,
oh, sorry. Well, give me a
You're
moment to
taking
shine
all
here,
my
Mark.
thunder. What
Give
am
me
I
a minute,
supposed to talk
man.
about
I've gotten kicked in the teeth over this many times. Give me a second. And then I'll let Mark Boyce tell you all the great things that are going on. So please join us on that day, and please feel free to drive that road on September 27th. It's going to be a really cool day in the city of Noblesville, and I hope we all take pride in that. Now, to really highlight what I'm most excited for, once a year we get a chance to introduce you to the new 2024-2025 season of the Mayor's Youth Council. This program was started 6 years ago by my predecessor, Councilor Wiles. I remember when we were on the council together as president and vice president, we got to go down there that first day and meet that inaugural class. But Mayor Ditzler had the foresight to surround himself with really smart people and realized that even some smart people were even high school students to surround himself with. So started this youth council as a way to not only advise our administration and the leadership that we are taking as a future of the city, but also embark on projects of their own. And I've gotten to work alongside many of these students the last 4 years. And I will tell you, in a time of life right now where even tonight you'll probably turn on the TV and be completely disappointed by the overall tenor of our country, I hope that you will take solace in the great future that is here in Noblesville, and you're going to see about 30 of them tonight. These are some of the best and brightest that represent us. I'm still connected with many of our past youth council graduates who have gone on to do amazing things and continue to come back. I've seen some of them serve as college interns this summer, which just completely warms my heart and makes us feel really, really good about what we're doing. I always tell people, and you guys can share, I'm sure agree with me, that I have the most selfish job in the world. My job is to make sure this city is so desirable that my kids never want to leave Noblesville, Indiana. And I think it's important to listen to the young adults of the future when we start to guide that strategy going forward. So if you will allow me a few minutes and allow Council President Peterson to introduce each one of them to you, I'll stand up here and give them a certificate of recognition for them being entered into the Youth Council. They will then exit out of the chambers, and we'll head back downstairs with them and their parents to take some photos while you guys continue with your exciting business of the people tonight. I told them they can stay and learn a civics lesson, or they can move on with their life. Either way is completely fine with us. There is one youth council member who is not, there's several that couldn't make it tonight. One in particular, Kate Boyce, is not here because it is her birthday, and she's actually raising money for NHS singers at Culver's tonight. So I think that just speaks to the caliber of the people that we have on there. So happy birthday to Kate as well. So with that, Mr. President, I will also one note too, Lexi Rock, our communications director for the city of Noblesville, has shepherded this group of students the last year or so and has done just a marvelous job. Not keeping them in line, they probably keep her in line, but helping them really be impactful. And I will also say that they meet at 7:30 a.m. on Tuesday mornings, which is no small feat for a high school student. So you are really looking at some committed people. So I want to thank them. I also want to thank their parents and their grandparents, who are, a lot of them are here tonight, but who probably do drag them out of bed at times to get them here at 7:30 in the morning. So thank you, parents and grandparents, for investing in your kids and allowing us to spend a little time with them on Tuesday mornings and tonight. So with that, I'll yield the floor to the council president.
Thank you. Baba Patel. Mallory Stewart. Charlie Zink. Daniela Leiniger. Kate Boyce. Maddie Smith. Ani Abrahamian. Tori Adams. Bazel Azar. Marin Axum. Scout Buzong. Enrique Camacho. Shelby Cook. Lizzie Eager. Maya Feigl. Haley Gibbons. Kahari Gibson. Harsam Rankar. Maggie Lambert. Drake Lockwood. Nellie Luna. Soren McLaughlin. Elizabeth Norris. Ellie Seago. Katie Sutton. Ryan Taya. Allie Thompson. Exley Tricker. Mina Vent. Callie Witten.
Thank you, Mr. President, for that. And again, I would invite parents to exit the council chambers, and we'll head downstairs and take some photos and let you continue on with your work. But thank you for the time tonight and for the recognition.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Give them just a second. They're very quiet, so we'll move on to council committee reports. Roads, Mr. Boyce. You got anything left?
Not much. The Roads Committee met on September 6th at 9:30. We had a full house. Mark Boyce, Darren Peterson, Pete Schwartz, and Todd Thurston were all present. The biggest thing that we talked about was Pleasant Street Phase 1, as we just discussed. As the mayor mentioned, please make sure you're at the party on September 26th on the bridge. We're going to have food trucks, and he's going to speak, and also Mr. Dillinger is going to be speaking. So. We also talked about the Oakmont and Wickham Ridge roundabout is now open and complete. Everything is done on it except for a few utility issues that they're going to be moving. Street rehab is continuing, and 196th Street and Hague Road, for those of you that are living out by my neck of the woods, know how bad that has been, and that has started today actually. So hopefully that will get through soon. And Little Chicago Road over Morris is still on schedule and will be opening around Thanksgiving, which I know that's impacting quite a few people. So if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them or defer to one of the other people out there if I don't remember, but if
I think
not.
you got it all. Any questions for Mr. Boyce? On to the Finance Committee, Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Mr. President. We met September 5th. Dave Johnson, Aaron Smith, Megan Wiles, and myself. Jeff Spalding discussed a appropriation transfer for reallocation of appropriations for the ARPA projects that we're working with. That and the claims come to the council with a favorable recommendation.
Any questions for Mr. Davis?
Mr. President, I would move that we approve the claims as presented.
Second.
Motion to approve the claims in a second. There's a hand vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 9-0. Council will hear an annual report from the Noblesville Youth Assistance Program. Lindsay Bennett and Todd Thurston. Welcome back.
Thank you. Hopefully, my
You have such
computer
a big
will work.
audience, but now.
I know. I feel a little bit of relief. I still get nervous whenever I come up here.
We are live streaming, though, just in case you wonder.
Thank
We're
you.
also nervous.
To both people.
If she needs me,
Well, I may need tech support. We'll see.
Yeah, your old password doesn't work anymore, sorry.
It is a password problem, yes. Okay, there we go.
There we go,
There
there
we
we go.
Okay.
Maybe.
This might be the longest part of the agenda tonight, I apologize.
Do we need one of the teenagers back to make?
Yeah.
IT's coming.
I think it's just,
Here's IT.
trying to load up here.
Yeah.
Just trying to start. See, I let him go to sleep, so,
Was there a problem?
yeah.
Any golf jokes, Scott?
Okay.
You can do interpretive dance too if you want, just to set up the presentation.
You're a part of this presentation too, you could start it.
This might be what the problem is.
Yeah, right.
Todd's portion was deleted.
Yeah.
I'll leave the IT stuff to the IT.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep back up, so.
Is it a Fisher's laptop?
I didn't want to say, but.
Should we go on to
You haven't
the,
say, if you want to go on and I can.
Go on and come back.
try
want
it
to come back?
again.
Sure.
Okay.
He's walking away, so that's not a good sign. Okay, we'll come back.
Okay.
Council, on to new ordinances. Council to consider ordinance 500924, an ordinance annexing approximately 25.68 acres at 12484 East 156th Street in Noblesville Township. Resolution RC 3524, adopting a fiscal plan and establishing a public hearing.
Move to introduce?
Second?
Joyce Ann Yelton.
Good evening. This is a parcel of property that basically is located on 156th Street. Immediately to the east of it is the Deer Creek Elementary School. To the west, we have a subdivision known as Waterman, not Waterman Farms, Waterman.
Crossing.
Waterman Crossing, that's right. To the south of this property is Deer Creek subdivision, and to the north of the property is Blue Ridge Creek. So basically, this entire parcel is surrounded completely by the city limits of Noblesville. Again, the property is currently in the county. When it comes into the city, it will be zoned R1 single-family residential. There currently is a single-family residence on this property. It will basically be part of Councilmatic District 6 when it is annexed. And with that, I will ask if you have any particular questions on this, and would ask that the council set a public hearing date for the October 15th meeting.
Any questions?
Mr. President, I would move that we establish a public hearing for ordinance number 50-09-24 for the October 15th meeting.
Second.
A motion to establish a public hearing for ordinance 500924 at the October 15th meeting, and a second. This is a hand vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 9-0. Thank you. Council to consider Still going on? Council to consider ordinance 510924, an ordinance annexing approximately 27 acres in the 11100 to the 11200 block of Greenfield Avenue, north side, east of Promise Road in Noblesville Township. Resolution RC 3524, adopting a fiscal plan and establishing a public hearing.
Move to introduce.
Second.
Joyce Ann Yelton.
Again, this item before you is the annexation of property. It is bounded on the south by Greenfield Avenue, on the west by Promise Road, on the north by 156th Street, and basically on the west by what is known as Hood's Gardens. This again is approximately 27 acres. It is going to be known as the Montalena Planned Development, which we saw earlier this year. It is for the construction of townhomes. Basically, again, this is surrounded pretty much on two sides completely by the city limits of Noblesville, and partially on the east side by the city limits of, well, actually it is, so it is on three sides by the city limits, which is the north side, the south side, and the east side. The west side basically is across Promise Road. Those parcels of property are single-family dwellings, and they are currently still in Noblesville Township. Again, I would ask that you set a public hearing date on this for the October 15th meeting.
Thank you. Any questions for Joyce Ann Yelton?
Mr. President, I would move that we establish a public hearing for ordinance number 51-09-24 at the October 15th meeting.
Second.
There's a motion to establish a public hearing for ordinance 510924 at the October 15th meeting. A second. This is a hand vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 9-0. Council to consider ordinance 520924, an ordinance annexing approximately 19 acres in the 17200 and 17300 block of Hazeldale Road, west side in Noblesville Township. Resolution RC 3724, adopting a fiscal plan and establishing a public hearing.
Move to introduce.
Second.
Joyce Ann Yelton.
Again, this parcel of property is located on the west side of Hazeldale Road. It is immediately north of Hazeldale Woods. It is immediately east of the Hazeldale School. To the north is vacant property that is still in Noblesville Township. Also, there is the trailhead there at the city of Noblesville Trailhead, immediately north also. This piece of property again is currently zoned R5 residential. It will be used for the construction of townhomes. It will be part of Councilmatic District 2 when it is annexed. Again, I would ask that you set a public hearing for the October 15th meeting.
Any questions for Joyce Ann Yelton?
Mr. President, I would move that we establish a public hearing for ordinance number 52-09-24 at the October 15th meeting.
Second.
There's a motion to establish a public hearing for ordinance 520924 at the October 15th meeting, and a second. This is a hand vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 9-0. Running out of things to annex, Lindsay. Council to consider ordinance 530924, an ordinance annexing approximately 3 acres at 5263 East 156th Street in Noblesville Township. Resolution RC 3824, adopting a fiscal plan and establishing a public hearing.
Move to introduce.
Second.
Joyce Ann Yelton.
Again, this parcel of property contains 3 acres. Currently on site is 1 single-family dwelling. There could be 2 other dwellings eventually built on this property. It is completely surrounded by the city limits of Noblesville on the east, west, and south sides, and that is by the Westmore at Noble West subdivision. Immediately across the street, again, are properties that will remain in Noblesville Township. Again, if annexed into the city, it will be part of Councilmatic District 2, and I would ask that you set the public hearing for October 15th.
What is this subdivision called? This one?
George Jensen.
Okay. Any other questions?
Mr. President, I would move that we establish a public hearing for ordinance 53-09-24 at the October 15th meeting.
Second.
Motion to establish a public hearing for ordinance 530924 at our October 15th meeting in a second. This is a hand vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 9-0. Council to consider ordinance 540924, an ordinance annexing approximately 52 acres in the 19500 through 19600 block of Promise Road, west side, in Noblesville Township. Resolution RC 3924, adopting a fiscal plan and establishing a public hearing.
Move to introduce.
Joyce Ann Yelton.
Again, this parcel of property is basically
Second.
known as Branson
Second.
Reserve.
We got it.
Yep,
You're
go
good.
ahead. You're good,
Go on.
keep going,
You're
sorry. We got a
Okay.
second.
Okay.
You're good.
It's known as Branson Reserve. Has been rezoned to R3PD. It will be for approximately 147 single-family units. Basically, to the south and to the west is what is known as the Meadows Knoll and Meadows Glen. To the east, part of the property is currently inside the city limits. The other portion of the property will remain in Noblesville Township. Again, this does meet all the continuity requirements to be annexed. And if annexed, it will be a part of Council District Number 4. Again, I would ask that you set a public hearing date for October 15th.
Any questions?
Mr. President, I would move that we establish a public hearing for ordinance number 54-09-24 at the October 15th meeting.
Second.
The motion to establish a public hearing for ordinance 540924 at the October 15th meeting in a second. This is a hand vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 9-0. It's Joyce Ann again. Council to consider ordinance 550924, an ordinance annexing approximately 42 acres in the 17100 through 17300 block of Hazeldale Road, east side in Noblesville Township. Resolution RC 4024, adopting a fiscal plan and establishing a public hearing.
Move to introduce.
Second.
Joyce Ann Yelton.
Again, this parcel of property is basically on the east side of Hazeldale Road. It is across the street from one of the previous annexations that we just spoke about. It is, again, for single-family dwellings. It is currently zoned R3 PD. If annexed into the city, it will be in Councilmatic District 2. And I would ask that you set a public hearing for October 15th.
Any questions?
Mr. President, I would move that we establish a public hearing for ordinance number 55-09-24 at the October 15th meeting.
Second.
Motion to establish a public hearing for ordinance 550924 at the October 15th meeting in a second. This is a hand vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. You ready?
Thank you.
We need a break from Joyce Ann Yelton, so thank you.
We'll probably see you back October 15th.
How could you need a break from Joyce Ann? Okay, well, I haven't plugged it in, so hopefully that won't mess everything up. All right. Great.
Promise.
Hey, ta-da.
Thank you for your patience. My name is Lindsay Bennett. I'm here tonight in front of you as a Noblesville resident and part of the board of directors for the Noblesville Youth Assistance Program. Thank you for allowing us to come and give our annual update this year. We're excited to kind of update you on what we've been doing this year and let you know all the great things our organization is doing. First, I want to introduce you to our board of directors. Our exec committee is made up of Jeff Armstrong, our president, and Dustin Dixon, our VP, and Eric Forbes and Ginger, our treasurer and secretary. This is the rest of our board. You may recognize a few of those names up there from the city of Noblesville, city council, Noblesville schools, the school board, and local businesses. In the last year or so, Jeff and Todd have done a great job of finding the right people who are excited to serve and help our organization. We also have our advocates here tonight, Brandy and Michelle. They are amazing. They're the ones that actually work with our families, and ones that are doing this on a daily basis, and they just do a really wonderful job. So I know some of you may not be familiar with what Noblesville Youth Assistance does. In 2023, we provided around $73,000 in services and assistance to our NYAP families. We had 225 Noblesville kids referred to NYAP, 191 Noblesville families served, and we tutored 136 Noblesville students. I'm just going to play a quick video.
Noblesville Youth Assistance Program is an early intervention program for youth aged 3 to 17 and a half. We serve them in various different ways in the community.
We started in Noblesville in 2012. We were started in a response to helping with attendance struggles. They had seen a direct correlation between students that were struggling with attendance and them ending up in some sort of system, whether that be juvenile detention or DCS. One of the things that people may not realize about our organization is we don't try to reinvent the wheel. We don't try to create something that already exists within the community. We work to fill the gap. It is our responsibility to be good stewards to our community and have a pulse on like what's going on and what needs to be fulfilled and where can we get in there and do our best work. We can truly adapt to what it is that our community needs.
We have some families that work with us for years, some families who just need us for a short period of time. And our goal is to help these families and kiddos overcome whatever obstacles they are facing during that time. My job is to connect families with resources, our community partners, and to make sure that they are getting the things that they need just like anyone else.
So if you'd like to learn more about Noblesville Youth Assistance Program, go to our website. We can connect there and follow up with you from there on how you can volunteer, give your time or your money. We'd love to help you get involved.
So one of the things the video touched on was tutoring assistance. When I first started on this board, we were really focused on food insecurity and providing different kinds of resources to families, but after the pandemic, we realized that like Fuel for School and some other organizations were doing a great job at providing food. So we kind of shifted gears to look and see what our community needed. And what we found that was needed was tutoring services to help kids kind of get back in the swing of things and provide some assistance since they'd been out of school for 6 to 7 months. So we switched our focus to tutoring, and we currently offer tutoring at West and East middle schools. We have 14 tutors and tutor 136 students. The cost for NYP to provide this service is around $50,000 a school year. Our next goal, however, is providing tutoring for all 2nd and 3rd grade classes in all of Noblesville elementary schools. This has become kind of a critical need with the new legislation that has recently been passed for 2nd and 3rd graders and how important those iRead scores are going to be with determining what their future looks like with elementary schools. So we're working with Noblesville schools to provide 2 8-week sessions for all 2nd and 3rd grade classes. And the total goal is going to cost around $42,000, $43,000 for the school year. So we're essentially like doubling what we are already providing. So this is a pretty big undertaking. And so we are looking at a lot of fundraising and grant opportunities. I did want to touch on some of the other things that we do. We do quite a few programs and outreach. Some of the programs that we do listed here, Shining Star is probably one of our favorite events that we do. Each school picks a student that may not have received recognition for like academics, but they are picked for something that may be good to recognize. So if you go to one of the Shining Star events, you may hear stories about maybe an illness, either the student or the parent, deaths in the family, foster situations, just any kind of story of that student overcoming a significant event in their life, and the teacher or counselor was to recognize that student. Our advocates put together a career camp this year and rounded up several businesses that don't necessarily require a college degree, but found jobs that may be on a career path that someone that's not on the college track may be interested in. So they had a week-long session with different businesses in the community and learned about those career paths. The Parent-Guardian Link-Up is something that we started back in August. Again, something the advocates put together, and it provides a time where parents and guardians can come and learn about things like financial education or online safety. There's different topics each month. Stuff Your Stocking is something we do every December with the downtown Noblesville businesses. Basically, anyone can buy a stocking, and then they can go around to the businesses and collect little trinkets and toys at those businesses. And then, of course, holiday assistance for any of our families that may be needing some assistance around Christmas and the holidays. We also do participate in these other events around the community that other organizations put on, such as Taste of Noblesville, Back to School Bash, Multicultural Night. This year we're doing Prevail Autumn Fest and Frights at Forest Park. So how does the City of Noblesville kind of factor into all this? As you're probably aware, we do receive a grant from the city in the amount of $75,000. That typically goes for the salary for our advocates. They are actually county employees, and we have an interlocal. Each youth assistance program has this interlocal where the county basically provides the benefits, and then each community will provide a portion of the salary for the community that those advocates serve. We were also lucky enough to be recipients for the 2024 Mayor's Soiree, and we received $15,000, $10,000 of which will go to sending 24 of our kiddos to Agape Horse Therapy Camp, and then $5,000 will go into our Noble Cares account, and that is something that I really love because that's something that really touches each family. It will provide rent, could provide car repairs, moving, clothing, shoes. There's a million stories that the advocates have where that has touched the lives and helped kids, just succeed in their everyday life. We don't rely just on City of Noblesville grants and Mayor's Soiree. Like I said, we have a big undertaking that we're looking at. So we have been looking at personal contributions. We have several board members who have taken grant writing classes, and so they are learning how to write grants. And we have been the recipient of several grants. We have a Kroger Cares account. We do receive a little bit of money from Stuff Your Stocking. We have Shining Star sponsors, and our biggest fundraiser is our hay bale ball. And it is this year, November 8th. Mayor Jensen is our honorary chair. It's going to be held at Purgatory, and we have a barbecue, an open bar. We have a bourbon pool. I think we're going to do a cigar pool this year. And of course, live music by one of our favorite bands, Jay Baker. And the proceeds from this will go towards the tutoring program as well as that Noble Cares account. So we would love to see you all out there if you are available. So every board meeting, Michelle and Brandy, our advocates, give us a family highlight, and it really kind of reminds us of why we do what we do and why we're doing the work that we're doing. So I've asked them to just come and give a quick highlight for you all so that you can kind of hear how these funds have touched Noblesville's families.
Thank you all so much for having us here tonight. The family highlight I want to share is really our parent link-up group. This has been a vision of Brandy and I for a long time to create a space where our parents, families can get together, and it's open to the community. A lot of the numbers and stuff that you saw here isn't our overall impact. We don't just serve the ones that are referred to us. So this parent group is for anyone. We keep it small, so I have an RSVP of like 15 people, usually 30 show up. It's been a great hit, and it's so neat because so many of our families are walking a similar path and they're just not connected. And so I truly believe in community and connecting our neighbors and connecting our families. At our last group, we had a grandmother kind of talking to a new mom and talking her through it, some of the situations she's been in. And so it's been really cool to see this grow. And we have our next one tomorrow night, so I'm very excited for that.
So last board meeting, I shared a family highlight about a young man that I have been working with for 4 years. He has struggled over the years with some mental health challenges and behavior challenges. And overall, last school year was just really hard for him. So one of the things that I wanted to do was, I was like, talk to his mom, and I was like, I want to offer him something fun this summer that he would not normally have been able to probably participate in. And he was given a scholarship spot at Camp Tecumseh through our organization. And And so in that, like, in the middle of May, in the middle of May, I was sitting with him and talking with him, and I was like, so are you excited about Camp Tecumseh? And he, his words were like, can we just not talk about this, because I don't like camps and I don't want to go to camp. And so I started to get really nervous, and I was honestly half expecting a phone call sometime during that week with Mom saying, I got a call, I got to go pick him up from camp, it's not going well. That call did not come, and sorry, this is just who I am. That call did not come. As a matter of fact, he had the best week of his life, he said. And, sorry. And his counselor even wrote a note home to Mom and spoke about how at the beginning of the week he wanted no part in participating, but by the end of the week he was leading everything they did. And he is so excited to go next year. Sorry, this is me, I'm the resident.
It's also the reason why I didn't talk, because I'm the same way.
Yes, in preparing for this, I wanted to talk about kind of the stories that meant a lot to me, but I couldn't get through it without crying either, so I left that to Brandy and Michelle. But I just wanted to thank you all again for your time and allowing us to come and give you an update, and we really appreciate the city's support, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Well worth the wait. Any
Yeah.
other questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any
Great
comments?
work.
Thank you for all you do.
very much.
I may
Thanks,
cry
Lindsay.
too.
Your passion shows and is much appreciated.
Absolutely.
I encourage you all to get your ticket for the Hay Bell Bowl.
Okay, on to some more even exciting stuff here. Transfers. Council consider transfer TA 0624, an appropriation transfer to realign appropriations for certain projects to be funded from the city's American Rescue Plan Act distribution. Jeff Spalding.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the council. Jeff Spalding, CFO and Controller. And I can say up front, this is not nearly as emotional as the last.
Depends how
In
long
fact,
you talk.
it's actually not emotional at all. So this is a very, very straightforward item. And I think you may all remember at the last council meeting, you made appropriation of the remaining balances of our American Rescue Plan Act monies for various projects. And subsequent to that action, some decisions were made to make some slight changes on the delivery of some of those products. And as a consequence, they were originally appropriated as capital outlays made directly by the city, but because of some of those decisions, some of the projects are going to be delivered as public purpose grants where we're going to provide the money to another entity. They're going to deliver the result. And this is just, it's really in effect a technical fiscal action, but the dollar amount is so big and the funds that we're dealing with are significant source of revenue. So we're bringing it to the council, just say, move the appropriation from the 400 series to the 300 series to effect that change, and that's it.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Spalding?
Mr. President, I would move that we approve transfer TA-06-24 as presented.
Second.
There's a motion to approve transfer TA 0624 and a second. This is a hand vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 9-0.
Thank you.
Council comments. Mr. Thurston.
Yeah, Mr. President, I just wanted to mention a little bit. First Friday downtown, went down, had dinner with my wife, with another couple. It was the first night of the Dora. Downtown Noblesville was hopping. It was fantastic. I ran into so many people I hadn't seen in a long time. I heard several times people say, it's like old Noblesville. And it was. It was just, I think what Dora was intended to do was activated Friday night. It was unbelievably wonderful evening. I heard nothing but great things from anybody. I know several of you were there, but it's fantastic.
Thank you.
The only thing I would add to that is that when I was down there to see that implemented, I ran into a city councilor from Greencastle who came to see how we implemented our DORA and how that interworked with First Friday and Main Street. And so to have somebody drive 76 miles to come see what we're doing here is just another reminder that it's really important that how we set the example in Noblesville, that there are other people that are watching.
The football game was on a big screen
Yep.
TV downtown. I mean, it was awesome.
I like that screen. We might need to make that permanent somewhere. Just
That's
saying.
awesome.
Yeah.
Any other comments? We are adjourned.